In a world that seemed to spin faster with each passing day, where the clamour of modern life drowned out the whispers of simplicity, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of possessions, commitments, and expectations. My apartment was a microcosm of chaos, overflowing with items I had accumulated over the years. Clothes I never wore, books I never read, gadgets that promised convenience, but only added to my stress. It was a life that looked good on the surface, adorned with the trappings of success, yet underneath lay a deep-seated discontent that gnawed at my spirit. It was during one particularly overwhelming evening, as I sat surrounded by a mountain of laundry and an endless to-do list, that I stumbled upon a documentary about minimalism. The film followed individuals who had stripped their lives down to the essentials, sharing how this journey had transformed their happiness. I was struck by the clarity in their voices, the lightness in their eyes, and the profound joy that radiated from their simple lives. As I watched, a seed of curiosity was planted in my mind, and I began to wonder if a similar path could bring me the peace I so desperately sought.
The next day, I decided to take a small step. I opened my closet, a cavern of forgotten clothes, and began to sort through the items. As I held each piece in my hands, I asked myself a simple question: does this bring me joy? A faded sweater that had once been a favorite did not spark joy anymore. It reminded me of a past version of myself, one that felt more lost than found. I folded it neatly and placed it in a donation box. With each item I let go of, a pair of shoes I had never worn, a collection of trinkets that held no sentimental value, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. It was liberating, exhilarating even, to release the hold that these things had over me. As the days turned into weeks, I continued to declutter my living space. I tackled the kitchen next, where gadgets and utensils cluttered every drawer. I realized I had a dozen mismatched plates and countless mugs, many of which had been gifted to me over the years. I chose to keep only those that I loved and used regularly. Each decision felt like shedding a layer of skin, revealing a more authentic version of myself beneath. I discovered that living with less didn't mean sacrificing comfort or style. Rather, it allowed me to appreciate what I truly valued.
With each decluttering session, I began to notice a shift within me. My mind, once clouded with the noise of excess, started to clear. I found myself spending more time outdoors, walking through the park, feeling the sun on my face, and listening to the laughter of children playing. I began to embrace the beauty of simplicity in nature, where the vibrant colors of flowers and the rustling of leaves became a source of joy. I started to savor my meals, cooking with fresh ingredients rather than relying on takeout. I found pleasure in the act of preparing food, transforming it into a ritual rather than a chore. As I embraced this new lifestyle, I also began to reassess my relationships. The frantic pace of life had left little room for meaningful connections, and I realized I had been spreading myself too thin. I reached out to friends who nourished my spirit, those who shared my newfound appreciation for simplicity. We gathered for potluck dinners, where we shared not just food, but stories and laughter, creating memories that felt richer than any material possession could provide. I learned that quality over quantity applied not only to my belongings, but also to my relationships.
The journey toward minimalism also led me to reflect on my career. I had always equated success with long hours and climbing the corporate ladder, but now I questioned whether that path truly aligned with my values. I began to explore opportunities that resonated with my desire for balance and fulfillment. It was a leap of faith, but I decided to pursue a role that offered flexibility and a chance to contribute to causes I cared about. The transition was daunting, but as I took each step, I felt a sense of purpose that had long eluded me. As the months passed, I realized that living simply had become more than just a lifestyle choice. It was a philosophy that permeated every aspect of my life. I cultivated gratitude for the little things: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of rain tapping on my window, the comfort of a good book. I learned to appreciate the present moment, rather than constantly chasing after the next big thing. My heart felt lighter, and I began to experience joy in ways I hadn't thought possible.
One day, while sitting on my balcony, I watched the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple. It struck me that this moment, this simple pleasure, was what life was truly about. I no longer felt the urge to fill my life with distractions or possessions. Instead, I found happiness in the quiet moments, in the laughter shared with friends, in the stillness of a morning walk. I had discovered that joy wasn't found in what I owned or achieved, but in the richness of experiences and connections. As I reflect on my journey toward minimalism, I am filled with gratitude for the lessons I have learned. I have come to understand that simplicity is not about deprivation. It is about intentionality. It is about choosing to surround myself with what truly matters and letting go of the rest. In the end, living simply has not only transformed my surroundings, but has also reshaped my understanding of happiness. I am now free to embrace life with open arms, ready to savor each moment, each experience, and each connection, knowing that true joy lies in simplicity.